Hey, we're about to start the show, and you know the drill. If you've been here before and you have something important to share, please add a capital letter Q to your comment. And if you are watching live for the first time, please let us know by writing the word new, and we'll give you a nice little welcome. Enjoy the broadcast. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at news that are happening in our city, our state, our country. Sometimes we look beyond our borders, and we take a look at your comments, your ideas, your suggestions, everything that you bring to the table so that we can combine all this information and put it to good use as a community of English-speaking locals living here in Puerto Vallarta. Today is March 20th. Today is World Happiness Day. And I might as well ask you now, I'm not going to ask you how happy you are, although we may want to be thinking about that, given the fact that we were just commenting on a certain unfortunate fashion model that was living in Mexico City and did not seem to be all that happy. But what do I know? My question to you is, when you think of the word happy, what is the first song that comes to your mind? If I know it, I will sing it. So you better have enough coffee so you can deal with that. Let's take a look at the news that we have for today. And in fact, I will tell you the first song that came to mind this morning when I realized that it was World Happiness Day is the one that came from a musical, the one that goes, I want to be happy, but I won't be happy till I make you happy too. But you didn't come here to hear me sing. Let us tackle the news. Jesus. My goodness. In case you didn't get the memo, the spring equinox, which is the moment in which nighttime is exactly as long as daytime, happened yesterday at 9:06 p.m. So spring is here. Of course, moving forward, nights will last longer and longer until we reach the winter solstice and things begin to reverse. And we can already begin to feel the weather getting warmer and the weather getting stickier, and our snowbird friends planning their farewell cocktails as they start packing their bags and heading back up north of the border or borders, as the case may be. But we know the drill. This is what happens every year. If you're a snowbird, I bet you're starting to pack your bags. And for those of us that stay here, we know the drill as well. It's a good thing to do. Yesterday, I enjoyed my first plunge in a swimming pool of this year. I was very grateful to dear friends that it took pity on me. Well, not really. They just invited me to have a nice splash in the pool yesterday afternoon. So that was a good thing. And I'm dilly-dallying because I'm reading your comments. Good Lord, Sherry. Wow, Paco, you have a good singing voice. Well, that's what I went to school for. Practice, practice, practice. But back to the news. Back to the news. As much as we praised the Pueblo Mágico of Talpa de Allende as a wonderful place to visit, we would be the first to suggest you don't do it in the near future unless you want to be surrounded by a large number of people. Just how many? Well, this year, the town, which is tiny and quiet and peaceful, is expecting over 1 million pilgrims to reach the town from other parts of the state. Pilgrims that will be paying tribute to the Virgin of the Rosary of Talpa. So, go there now, between now and Semana de Pascua, if you want to, but you've been warned. You will find no place to park and it'll be difficult to get around town. Any other time of the year, Talpa is a beautiful, magical town to visit. It is located 1 hour and a half, less than 2 hours away from Puerto Vallarta on the way to Guadalajara along the mountain highway. And I've spent the night at Talpa a number of times. It is not easy to get to by public transportation, only because the bus is one of the older buses and it takes forever to get there. It takes like up to 5 hours by bus, if not longer. So you want to have a trusty friend to drive you and your friends, or you have to have your car to get to Talpa. Once you are there, it is, I could never sing that song, but I know it very well. I'm getting distracted by your comments. I'll get to Pharrell Williams' Happy in a little while. But anyhow, back to Talpa. Talpa is an amazing town. They make all the guava paste there. So it's like you get into Talpa de Allende and the town smells of perfume, guava and candy and all kinds of things. It's really an amazing place to be. Anyhow, here's another one that is worth telling a bigger story. Once again, vendors along the Malecon extension, which is between the Dolphin Fountain and the Rio Quale pedestrian bridge, are struggling to obtain or renew permits to set up shop where they usually do. Unfortunately, this is an old, tricky situation that for some of you that may not have been here long enough deserves retelling. So I'm not going to get into a lot of the details because I actually don't know all of the details. But remember a few days ago when we talked about the fact that the banners in Colonia Emiliano Zapata are not supposed to be there? And when confronted with the fact that there are some people that actually have a legal permit to put their banners, the permits office just kind of shrugs and goes like, well, they have permits even though they are not supposed to. Well, something similar happens with the outdoor vendors. You see, the city, any city by law, has a cap on the number of permits they grant. This is based on, I don't know, supply and demand. There's only so many taxi permits that a city can give. There's so many vendor permits and so forth and so on. Even permits to get a liquor license are capped. So once upon a time, there were a number of vendors. Many of them were situated along the Malecon. But then when the Malecon was rebuilt and turned into the ornate walkway that we have now, a lot of the vendors were temporarily relocated elsewhere. Places come to mind such as Basilio Vadillo, that first block of Basilio Vadillo that is lined with vendors. They didn't used to be there. These were vendors that were temporarily situated there, also along Lázaro Cárdenas Street or Madero or Aquiles Cerdán. So then the Malecon was finished and the city went, well, we don't know that we want you back where you used to be. So it's been going back and forth as to where the vendors can and should be. And of course, through the passing of time and through the passing of different administrations, there have been permit departments that, despite not being supposed to grant new permits, have gladly accepted illicit remuneration in exchange for a permit. I don't know this as a fact, but it's a known fact. I didn't see it printed. Long story short, the city has suffered from an excess of vendors for a few decades now, and the city doesn't know what to do with them. The vendors, of course, I mean, they're like tenants. And in Mexico, if you have a tenant that doesn't want to go away, you could go through years in court battles trying to get rid of a tenant. So the same thing happens with these vendors. Why the city is now not wanting to renew the permits for the vendors is a mystery to me. But I thought this situation would benefit from a little bit of context as to where this comes from. Am I happy to see vendors along Basilio Vadillo and other streets where traffic is compromised and it's just not the way it used to be? Of course, I'm not happy about that. Some vendors are fun to watch and some vendors have fun to shop for, but there's always that constant struggle between food-related vendors and the restaurants that are located right next to them. So it is complicated. It's been here for a while, and I'm sure it's not going to be solved overnight. So we might as well take a look at the weather. The end. That cloud looks like you're posing as one of Leonardo DiCaprio's French girls. I didn't even know that Leonardo DiCaprio has French girls, but then again, I'm not a big fan. 26 degrees out there. Humidity is at 54, and I can feel it. And the weather forecast for today says partly cloudy skies in the morning with overcast skies in the afternoon, a high of 30 and a low of 19. Humid with clear skies tomorrow, and a high of 29 and a low of 18. And then Friday, clear skies through the day with a high of 28 and a low of 17. I am excited about that. And, I forgot to tell you one bit of news, which I skipped. This may or may not be very important to you, but the dates for the 3 presidential debates that will take place prior to the June 2nd elections have been announced by the National Electoral College. The first one will be on April 7th, the second one on April 28th, and the third on May 19. It'll be juicy to watch, and I'll be happy to share. And of course, as I've been mentioning, today is the International Day of Happiness. The celebration was instituted by the United Nations back in 2012, emphasizing the significance of happiness as a fundamental human goal. Now, you're probably wondering, how happy are we? According to surveys, and when I say we as in Mexico, according to surveys, Finland is the happiest country in the world, while Afghanistan is at the other edge of the spectrum in 143rd place. Mexico is on the 25th spot worldwide, and is also the happiest country in Latin America. But the question here is, how happy are we? How happy are you? And now is the moment in which I read your comments and see if I get to do more shinging. Shinging takes practice, but first let me take a look at your comments. Let's see. Pum 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 pum. Happy hump day, everyone. Yes, I am happy. We are doing our showcase show this afternoon, by the way. In case you have nothing better to do, 4 o'clock this afternoon, we're going to have at least one confirmed interviewee, and I hope other people show up unannounced. Let's see what we have. Oh, Larcito is happy because he's coming back tomorrow. That makes me happy too. Safe travels, my friend. Pudding pam boom. Oh, Angelica, I bet your Punta Perula is deliciously warm and friendly today. I hope you have a wonderful day. I think fondly of the day Eric and I spent with you at your beautiful home. Share some photos of all the improvements that you've made in your garden so that we can see how it's looking. Let's see what else. I'm sorry. I know this is not the way it's meant to sound, but Sherry, I don't know. Maybe one of these days you'll get to watch a dead show. And where's my boom boom? There you go. Once again, Sherry says, morning all, and finally get to see a live show. Well, maybe tomorrow we'll do a dead show, just for the fun of it. Oh, what a sweet thought. Andrew says, happiness is only real if it's shared. Well, that would mean happiness and carrot cake, of course. Let's see what else. Oh, happy day. I don't know that one. Me and you, do-do-ba-do. No matter how you trust the dice, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. So happy together. Okay, Farrell William. I cannot sing that because I only know the chorus. The chorus girls go, happy, while he sings the main line, which is complicated. Mark says, feeling groovy. I remember da 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 da. Yes, I remember that song. That's a happy song. Let's see. When David and I were on the Malecon daily, we noticed many vendors missing, and it looked sad that so many more spaces stood empty. I don't know what bumps me more. Too many vendors, too little. No, actually, I do. Too many vendors bumps me out. Too few vendors, I feel, takes away some of the ambience in certain locations. But empty vendors, that is empty spaces that are not used, that is what pisses me off. And for a while, when you used to walk down Basilio Vadillo and you saw all those little booths lined up and only 2 or 3 would come out to sell, that's what bummed me out. Like, one wishes, without knowing much about law, I wish the city would come up with some kind of policy in which if you don't use your spot for 2 months or 1 month or whatever, then you lose the spot for somebody that is more willing to do something with it. And it'll happen. A lot of you flock away during the summer months, and there's just not that many people out and about. And a lot of the spots along Basilio Vadillo remain shut down for a few months. That bums me out, but that's just me. That's a good one. Don't worry, be happy. We know the don't worry, be happy part. But what I love about that song is what's his face? Pothead moment. Yeah, going do 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 do. Okay, enough. Boom 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 boom. Let's see. Saw a recent interview with Paul Simon, who said he hates singing that song. He said no 80-year-old should be singing the word groovy. Well, yeah, I hear you. But do you really think people continue to request that song? I would imagine they probably do. The reference is from the movie Titanic. It's been a while since I watched that. I don't know the Rolling Stones happy. And Angelica says, I will, and you guys are welcome anytime. Did you know that Chalacatepec Airport will be working this summer, 15 minutes away from Perula? Yes, I do. I know that the government of Jalisco is really keen on opening that airport very, very soon. So yay. I'll borrow Luna's glider. Luna has a glider. I don't fly unless I'm eating brownies. That's when I fly. This is what we have for today. I'm happy. I hope you're happy. And when I'm not happy, I have Luna to keep me happy. No, seriously, I hope you will consider your happiness choices and you will celebrate the things that make. Thank you, Bobby McFerrin. Thank you, Chris. It was at the tip of my mouth. All I needed is a scoop of chilaquiles to refresh my memory. You have provided, and I am totally grateful. So, this is Coffee and Headlines for today. I hope you enjoyed the happy edition. And for Sherry, tomorrow, instead of watching a live show, tomorrow we'll have a dead show. and we'll see how that goes. Between now and then, have a good time. Have a great day. And if you're around at 4 o'clock, check us out. Check out the spotlight at 4 o'clock right here. Take care.